Welcome back to another round of the Time Wizard April 2010 Ultimate Time Wizard Tournament from YCS Birmingham. Me, Sebastian Lemke, and my beloved and one and only Leonard Koenig are going to be casting you through this beautiful round. And actually, we're not only the two familiar faces to each other here, but also we have the return of our dragon player from round number 4 here for round number 7 as well. So let's see whether he's going to have Future Fusion again.
If you want to compare this to a Yu-Gi-Oh card, I would call it the Return of the Dragon Lord.
Ooh, I like it, I like it. But is it also the return of success for the dragon player, as he did in the end win that super close match against Frog Hero, but this time around he will face a completely different deck. He will face a deck, and I think I'm able to say that we both love since back in the day, right? We both played Gladiator Beast back in 2010 as little guys, and now we of course still love it coming back to the big screen here at this Ultimate Time Wizard tournament.
It is one of the decks that everyone just started playing with back in the day.
Oh yeah.
If you were, it's just that the cards were so easy to get for everyone, you know. So this was just the starting point for so many people. Gladiator Beast, also a very feared deck because you just had a bunch of trap cards, and sometimes your hands are not good enough to play through these trap cards. We're seeing an aggressive opening with the Elemental Hero Prisma. Prisma sending the that is the Wombo combo already.
It is the best combo of the deck, essentially. Look at that. It's not a Gladiator Beast that's going back into the deck there, but by using the effect of the Prisma, it became one, so it works so nicely with the Test Tiger there.
Calm down there, buddy. This is a very, very big swing here already with the Darius that is going to summon out the Bestiari immediately, and that's risky because you only have one of those Bestiaries. You have no recursion when it gets banished, and if there is a bottomless trap hole, this might put a real big dent into your plays. But I just see that the player also has a Book of Moon in hand, which would solve the issue immediately.
I was about to mention that. Yeah. We go
We're
into the
just
battle
attacking.
phase. Interesting, not even going into Gyzarus here.
That is really interesting, because once you use Darius to shuffle it back, the Bestiari also just gets removed from the field. And if you want to summon out Gyzarus here, you have no way of special summoning out two Gladiator Beast monsters, even though I think you might want to just pass on Gyzarus. If that gets removed, I don't know.
Passing with Gyzarus doesn't sound that great.
Wow.
Do we just pass on these here, maybe? We do, okay.
Honestly, that's an interesting way of playing it, and I quite like this, to be honest, considering that your opponent just started with a set card that leads you to think that there is not too much more coming when it comes to pressure. If this is a big beatstick monster that is going to be summoned, then you can probably just Book of Moon it to protect your monsters, and then you have two cards on the opposing side of the field that you can destroy with Gyzarus. And now, Compulsory Evacuation Device is getting destroyed by Mystical Space Typhoon. Not the best card in that matchup anyways. Koaki Myro Drago is summoned, and that one we can just Book of Moon when it wants to attack over. Oh, we have Bottomless Trap Hole as well.
We go for Bottomless Trap Hole. Honestly though, Leo, don't you consider using the Compulse on your own monster there? Like, just making sure that we get to keep the monster around? I think I would have at least considered it for a little moment, but our Gladiator Beast player here was very sure on just not chaining the Compulse, and therefore it paid off, as you can see here. And now we start our turn with already a Bestiary plus another Gladiator Beast on the field, and we just normal summon the Secutor as well. We're not afraid of anything here. What if there is a Torrential Tribute? But no, we just put the Secutor and the Bestiary into the deck, and we all know what that means. We all know who's coming here. We all see that Gyzarus.
Very high role play here, because you play around Bottomless Trap Hole so much better. Yep, because Bottomless Trap Hole is gonna go onto the Gyzarus. That's fine, you have 3 in your extra deck anyways, and Secutor is one of the few Gladiator Beasts that can, when it's has attacked, not shuffle itself back to the deck and summon out another Gladiator Beast. That is just everyone else. Secutor needs to be special summoned out via a Gladiator Beast effect, then attack, and then it can summon out 2 Gladiator Beasts, which is a card that people were debating whether you play this or not, but now we have a free attack with Gladiator Beast Darius.
Yeah, and we saw him thinking about it very, very long on whether to possibly use that Book of Moon on his own Gyzarus to protect it. But, I mean, it would have not been any additional damage this turn, so I think I kind of like it. As you said, you have 3 of that in the extra deck. it's probably not worth protecting it so heavily. And now Vidarius, though, able to use its effect again. Life points so hardly down already. And I mean, we were saying, how is the Dragon deck going to fare when it doesn't open Future Fusion?
Yeah.
Not looking too beautiful for it here at the moment.
I want to mention something else as well. A little, perhaps, misstep. Maybe there is a reasoning for it. He could have just set the Secutor and then Contact Fusion with a set monster. And that would have prevented a Torrential Tribute from being activated before Gizarus hits the field, which would have also protected the other set card. But Dragons are scooping here because Gladiator Beast, they just Gladiatored down the deck.
That's what Gladiators do. They came here into the Coliseum of the Ultimate Time Wizard Tournament in Birmingham, and they are here in round number 7 still with a very decent record, because it is absolutely a deck you have to consider and respect in this format. And we have our player here proving it one more time. If I remember correctly, I think for the Ultimate Time Wizard Tournament in Bologna, we had it in top 4. There was one Gladiator Beast player, so it's definitely having consistent success still. And a very cool thing you mentioned earlier, that in 2010 it was one of those decks that you could get quite easily. You had like loads of option to actually get access to the cards because they weren't super expensive. Most of them were sort of low-wear. And now the good thing is, if you're interested in playing Time Wizard 2010 format in 2025, Maze of the Master just released, and actually a lot of these so iconic Gladiator Beast cards are returning with that set, and you can just pick them up basically with a couple of packs of Maze of the Master, honestly.
Absolutely agree. Also, I think that it wasn't top 4 in Bologna.
It was at least top 8.
Maybe you confused it with the machine deck, with the gadgets. Similar playstyle.
I'm almost certain. We can check back at some point, but it was definitely in top 8 at least. But I think it was even in top 4. Yeah, I think so. I think
very sick.
Our Italian colleagues might have casted that match, but I'm almost certain it was in there. Yeah, for sure. And now we are, of course, seeing the preparations, and I mean, we saw and talked a lot about, like, if you want to see a more explosive round of the Dragon deck, I'm hoping it's still to come here in this round as well, but definitely make sure to check back for round number 4 as well of this very tournament here, as we had the same player with the same deck already in action there, and there you could see how well it worked against the Frog Hero deck, but we also saw how tagged out his deck is against that matchup, right? Because Deck Devastation Virus and Chain Disappearance and all those cards just to tackle that matchup. How good, for example, give me, like, those 2 cards. How good is Chain Disappearance against Gladiator Beasts? I think it works against Test Tiger, right? That's not too bad.
Yeah, Test Tiger can contribute itself upon priority, so that's not necessarily what you want to side. Karma Cut is very much a decent card because you can hit the Bestiary, maybe.
True.
I don't think that there's loads of tools. Maybe other cards in the side deck that help, like 7 Tools of the Bandit or Royal Oppression, also huge.
Fair.
Upstart Goblin, of course, phenomenal card. I was talking in the last round about how good Upstart Goblin is if you just want to side it out. Apparently not happening here.
Yeah, maybe because he doesn't have that many cards in the side deck, respecting the Gladiator Beast deck. Just a set monster again. No Gold Sarcophagus, no Future Fusion, no explosive start at all. How explosive this start, though? I mean, any kind of Gladiator Beast, as long as it survives this battle, which it will, is so good already. Because they special summon out the Totem Dragon here. But if we are, I mean, yeah, do we go out of this Totem Dragon with Momillo? There's no shot, right? Because it comes back anyways next turn.
Yeah, I mean, it banishes itself after being tributed. So when it summons itself back, so basically there is a chance that you're going to go for it. There are very few other cards that you really want to summon out here. Laquari would be one of them. Which, I mean, the attack points do not really matter if there is a Light and Darkness Dragon on the field, right? But still, I'm quite curious.
What could be cool? Hoplomos could be cool, right? You summon out a really big Hoplomos. If you have another card you can activate, if there is a Light and Darkness Dragon, then the Hoplomos is big enough to just withstand the Light and Darkness Dragon for a while.
Yeah, and then it gets to shuffle itself back into the deck and then get negated by the Light and Darkness Dragon.
But you don't have to.
You don't have to shuffle it back.
Yeah.
But you also don't have to play the Hoplomos, which is actually what happened here. It's not part of the main deck or Gladiator Beast player.
But he's playing it in the side deck at least, isn't he?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Then there is a way to Hoplomus, but no, we just go for Lacroix. Interesting. Just willing to have a monster with 2001 attack points up there. So we would actually, if there's Light and Darkness Dragon, that Light and Darkness Dragon, and I think I see it there already, is going to deal with that Lacroix with ease.
Yep. Totem Dragon is being tributed, of course, for Light and Darkness Dragon. What a threat to the field, especially if there is no Treeborn Frog. I mean, the Dragon deck was very key part of some months of the 2010 meta in most recent years, or most recent month. But it got kind of pushed out because Treeborn Frog and the other frog guys were just so strong against it. But against all other matchups, this card is phenomenal, and now we just negate the Dust Tornado.
That is why this Light and Darkness Dragon is so strong. It trades into any kind of card. Dust Tornado for nothing. One less card for you, buddy. Let's see what your Gladiator Beast can do now. I mean, good thing is it's already down to 2,300, so just activate a Smashing Ground, and then you can already normal summon a Lacrari, and it will be big enough to double, possibly.
You know, the thing is, Dust Tornado is a really valuable card against Light and Darkness Dragon, because Light and Darkness Dragon negation effects are mandatory, and it can only happen once per chain. So you can start off with a Dust Tornado, get the negate out, and then chain something like a Raigeki Break or a Shrink if it is attacking, you know? And then you get rid of the Light and Darkness Dragon with ease.
Yeah, actually just using it there casually in the end phase was kind of interesting. You're right. Okay, Smashing Ground. Another case of that's not going to resolve, and Light and Darkness Dragon still sitting there pretty. One less card again for the Gladiator Beast player here.
Now what you can do is summon out a Gladiator Beast, special summon out Test Tiger, tribute Test Tiger, and then attack over the Light and Darkness Dragon.
But that's already so many cards that you're committing,
yeah,
right?
I know. I wouldn't go for that myself, to be honest. But you have to get rid of it somehow. But then again, oh, that's a good out here, because you can activate the effect.
True.
You don't need the effect. Now you can attack over it. Also, very important, keeping it on still one negate, so the set card that the Dragon player has is going to be definitely lost. Because if you attack over it and they activate the card is going to get negated by the own Light and Darkness Dragon. If you attack over it, they don't activate the card, Light and Darkness Dragon in the graveyard will destroy their field to just summon out another dragon from the graveyard. So that set card has nowhere to go.
Indeed, Prisma. Honestly, that was the best normal summon we could have had into that Light and Darkness Dragon there that our deck has to offer. And he's thinking about more things here, but I do feel like we just want to go into that battle phase and deal with the Light and Darkness Dragon. On the other hand, hear me out, maybe you just leave the Light and Darkness Dragon on the field to prevent them next turn from just going Totem Dragon into another Light and Darkness Dragon. But no, we have decided to make this happen now. And I mean, the Totem Dragon comes out just like this anyways now.
7 Tools of the Bandit. One of the side deck cards against the trap-heavy strategy of Gladiator Beasts. Another card picked up. Totem Dragon tributed. Let's run this back. Light and Darkness Dragon hits the field. Also has a very cool Quarter Century print now. Oh, and we pick up the second Light and Darkness Dragon. The LADD is too much. Oh, we don't pick up. What am I saying?
I don't know what you saw there, but I see some further damage onto the life points of the Gladiator Beast player. Back down below, under the starting total of 8,000. And do we, like, oh, this is so many cards that we have to invest into it. This is rough.
There is no good way for our Gladiator Beast player to get rid of the Light and Darkness Dragon, because we have seen how he handled the last one. Activated 2 cards, another Smashing Ground. This is just -1. Now you just have what do you even have? Set a monster. This is not going well for them. He can also just normal summon a Wyvern now. This is more damage. What do you attack with first? With a Light and Darkness Dragon here. I can see that Retiari being destroyed. Now we deal some damage here. And the Wyvern, even if your opponent outs the Light and Darkness Dragon, that's fine, right? Wyvern gets destroyed. You're cool with that?
Very much, yeah. I think so as well. This is just such a powerful setup right now for the Dragons, which are doing exactly what this deck is designed to do. In round 1 of the tournament, we had that Christia deck to just try to bring out Christia every single time. And in that way, this Dragon deck is a little bit similar because you're always trying to bring out the Light and Darkness Dragon. Honestly though, in comparison, I feel like the Dragons here, the supporting Dragons, most importantly the Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon we see there in their hand, are just like very good ways to support it as well. Now Cold Wave. Cold Wave will be negated. Interesting tech, and actually in this deck. Prisma again, though. Okay. We have the out again.
I don't think that Cold Wave is an interesting tech in Gladiator Beast. I think it's rather standard, because if you activate Cold Wave on big back row, and there are very few hand interactions in the meta, and you normal summon out a Prisma or any Gladiator Beast plus a Test Tiger, you get to Gizarist them without any interruption.
That's fair, yeah. I just remember... It's true, actually, now that I think about it, I played Cold Wave myself back in the day.
Yeah. And Trapstun.
Yeah, Trapstun, I do definitely remember as well. It's good to just make sure your opponent can't activate those cards. Oh, we picked up another Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon there.
Look at the hand size of Gladiator Beast there. There is one card in hand, a very sad elemental hero, Prisma, who's like, guys, this is a Gladiator Beast deck. Why do I have to do all the work?
And why do I have to be an elemental hero, right? Because it usually isn't an elemental hero for very long. It just like changes colors very, very quickly. But it has to stay one here, and there's Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon now. Bringing back the Masked Dragon as well. That's so much pressure. Oh, another one even.
Yeah. Yep, we just commit here. What's our opponent going to have anyways that can stop us? And we normally summon out the Drago, and this is a big push that is surely enough for a game.
Wow!
We prevent Gorz, which is not commonly played in the deck as well, with the Koakimiro Drago. Well played by the Dragons. Light and Darkness Dragon, once it hits the field against a deck like Gladiator Beast, it's just so tough to get rid of it. And even if you get rid of it, he had to invest 3 cards. 3 cards, that is so much.
It really is. You really, against this card, as you were already a little bit explaining, you need a combination of 2 cards that you can use in one chain, right? Because that is the only downside of Light and Darkness Dragon, that it cannot activate itself multiple times per chain. So if you have something to activate, and they activate the Light and Darkness Dragon because they have to, Raigeki Break and those kind of cards, they are just so valuable. Or sometimes even you have Torrential Tribute and then also Bottomless Trap Hole. Like, them together still being on the summoning window of a monster, that works. But just one card all the time is not going to do the trick.
Dimensional Prison plus Dust Tornado on Attack Declaration also works.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So there are plenty of outs for it. I think Dimensional Prison is the best one because you banish it so it doesn't summon back a dragon.
That's very fair. But I agree with you so much. That Dust Tornado was just like so foolishly used there. Like, even though it had the potential of actually making all of our other cards so live. Because Dust Tornado is a card you can anytime, as long as there is a set card, but there very often will be, of course, that you can just always activate, and then you will have the chain link free of an actual useful trap card, and that could have been the game changer. I don't think he had any of those trap cards here, but just in theory...
Prisma plus Smashing Ground, so he used it as a way to get the attack points of the Light and Darkness Dragon low enough to run over it with Prisma.
Yeah.
So I think in that case it was the right choice, because otherwise you just, I don't know, you just scoop right there. It's nothing happening at all.
Fair.
By the way,
go ahead.
I don't love Smashing Ground sided in against Light and Darkness Dragon decks.
No, absolutely agree. It's just so often going to be the case, as we just saw, that you just activate it over and over again into a negating Light and Darkness Dragon. That will never be the case. It's funny, actually, the game mat here that we're seeing with Reborn Tengu on it. Reborn Tengu was not even around in 2010, was it?
No, but it's also like a very commonly played Time Wizard format. I have myself a Tengu plant-based strategy deck mirror match just in my cupboard next to me.
Nice.
Is cupboard the right word? I think that's something you have in a kitchen, like a drawer.
I think you're good.
I have 2 decks next to me. That's what I'm trying to say here.
And I mean, you kind of were in the kitchen with them, so even if it is for the kitchen, you might be fine.
Exactly.
Alright though, now we have the Gladiator Beast deck going first for actually the first time in this entire match. And we only set a monster. Is this finally my beloved Hoplomus? Please be Hoplomus. I need some Hoplomus in my life, but I see what we have in the hand of a dragon player. This is going to be another game where the future is already predicted. Future fusion. Oh, and look, he was praying. No answer. No answer. 5-headed dragon. 5,000 attack points, but also 5 dragons as material being sent straight from the deck. Which one is it going to be?
That reminds me of the Heroes Future Maxi Resolve stance from the Master Duel World Championships, you know?
True.
This is like, you're dancing on Maxi Resolves, you're dancing when you're playing Time Wizard 2010 and your Future Fusion Resolves on 5 dragons. You would play a Foolish Burial maybe even in the deck to just send 1 dragon from the deck to the graveyard. 5 is just insane setup, especially for a deck like Gladiator Beast. The thing is, if the Gladiator Beast has the ability to just now smashing ground the Red Ice Darkness Metal Dragon that will be summoned out in the end phase, and then Retiari, some Red Ice Wyvern, there is play.
Yeah, and I mean, imagine it's another Gladiator Beast that is set there. So like 2 Gladiator Beasts, so you get Retiari and maybe then also Bestiari for the Future Fusion. This is not over yet necessarily. And be reminded, when we want to use the Red Ice Wyvern in the end phase, we are not allowed to normal summon that turn. So yep, we're just setting a couple of cards, head into the end phase, use the Red Ice Wyvern, and Red Ice Darkness Metal Dragon is onto the field.
He's onto it. The Red Ice Darkness Metal Dragon.
Both of them.
Monster zone. Oh wow, okay. That's a lot of pressure. That prevents the Smashing Ground play that I just mentioned. Maybe he heard me in the past. He had a future fusion vision of what I was going to say about this play, probably.
Probably.
The thing is, if you have the 2 red eyes on the field, and you couldn't attack over a monster, if there is a way to get into a Bestiari here, Gizarus plus Judgment would go hard.
They would. Okay. What is it? Is there anything? I mean, is there another monster is the real question here. I think we do actually have the Smashing Ground that you were thinking of. So it's a little unfortunate that it's not only 1 but 2 Red Ice Darkness Metal Dragons now, but the first one is gone already. Doesn't even matter to him which one, he just wants to get rid of one of them.
The Rescue Cat version has so many ways of going into Gizarus here. You could either have a Bestiari, you could have Elemental Hero Prisma, you could have Test Tiger. So there's so many cards to Rescue Cat itself. Test Tiger. Yeah.
There it is.
The thing is, if you use Test Tiger, you can also summon out a Murmello from Murmello, which is cool, which is otherwise not possible. Book of Moon on the Murmello here.
Wait, does that work? I wasn't even aware that this would work. Because it does.
I think it does. Yeah. Because then you have to shuffle a face-up Gladiator Beast into the deck. And that's just not happening here.
Very much. I mean, imagine though the other set monster is also Gladiator Beast. Or imagine they just flip summon Bestiari now. I mean, they don't need to flip summon the Bestiari. They can just use it as a tribute.
No way. No way.
What is it?
Okay. Oh. Okay, it's not happening. I was gonna say, that would have been crazy.
That would have been the bane of the century, yeah.
Yeah. Biggest betrayal. Top 10 moments.
Can Red Ice Darkness Metal Dragon summon back Red Ice Darkness Metal Dragon as well? Oh, it's Sam Knight.
Sam Knight. But why are we flipping this one up? Are we attacking? We have plenty of cards in our repertoire, like Shrink. Does Hedge Maze, Hedge Guard work when you're attacking?
I think it does. It's just doing the damage step, yeah.
Because then you have crazy plays here. You attack, you go into Bestiari, pop the set card, or maybe the Future Fusion to be sure, and then you go Gizarus, pop the other cards. So then you would go for an entire field wipe here.
I mean,
even no recursion in the graveyard.
Even Shrink works, right? Because Sam Knight is big enough than half of the attack of Red Ice Darkness Metal Dragon.
Are we playing Shrink though? That's the question.
Oh, there must be something. Oh. Is there anything? Come on.
I mean, he's thinking so much. If there wasn't a play, you'd have passed by now, right? Oh, we're setting just a card. Doesn't want to go for it, and now the Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon can just summon out the Totem Dragon from the graveyard for free, basically.
But I think the read here, from my side at least, would be that there is Gladiator Beast War Chariot, right? Because otherwise, yeah, of course, that has to be the set card there. But there is 7 tools of the bandit to negate it. But I mean, otherwise you would never flip the Sam Knight. We just wanted to make sure that there is a face-up Gladiator Beast monster on the field, clearly.
Good read, Busty. Good read.
Thank you. I've played this game before.
Oh, there was a Book of Moon!
Wow.
Oh, wow. He could have just gone for it. Oh, the 7 tools of the bandit would have done nothing. He decided to go for the War Chariot route, and then got so punished for it. Wow. And now there's a Light and Darkness Dragon on the field. There's a Red Eyes Dragon on the field. There's a Future Fusion that is next turn going to summon out the 5-headed dragon. And now there is no Sam Knight anymore. There won't be Amarillo after this turn. Oof. That's a big oof if I've ever seen one.
What a change of pace. With the back against the wall as the Gladiator Beast player now, there's a 5,000 attack point monster about to come out, and it will not even have the chance to come out as we have our Gladiator Beast player conceding, meaning dragons keep on winning here in Birmingham.
Dragons looking good. The super anti-frog variant tacked out against the deck. Also working against other deck. Light and Darkness Dragon proving once again why it is such a huge boss monster. We have plenty of more featured matches. You can check them out on this very YouTube channel. And yeah, looking forward to meeting you all in the next round.